A couple of weeks ago, I had the enormous pleasure of talking about the fundamental importance of literacy with the amazing LeVar Burton. Since then, Mitt Romney's controversial comments about PBS funding have everyone talking about the value of public broadcasting. And joining me again, I'm so delighted to welcome LeVar back to HuffPost Live.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, LeVar.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well today. Mitt gave us a great gift, I think.
I agree. That's what I thought. I broke
gift.
into a grin when he started talking about it.
He did. Number one, I think he woke the president up, which is good.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a tough debate, I
thought. You know, whether it was the altitude or whether he was just feeling a little complacent, he's not complacent now.
Yeah,
right?
Indeed.
So that was good.
Yeah.
And as crazy as it may seem, Big Bird and PBS have become a flashpoint for conversation in this country about the underlying issue, which for me is the value of education and how we're going to get it done.
Absolutely.
In this country. And Mr. Romney believes that we can do it without PBS. I believe, despite how you feel about Big Bird, and Big Bird and the Children's Television Workshop are going to be fine. We don't have to worry about Big Bird. So let's take Big Bird out of the equation. And what it boils down to is the promise that America has held out to its citizens over the last 50 or so years, in that through PBS we have a free resource for schools, elementary schools, high schools, where we can deliver the finest quality content at no cost to the users. Yes, it is funded by the federal government, which means taxpayer support. I just want to make sure that folks understand that we can't have an educated population without making the investment in children and in children's education. And so the question is, what kind of an America are we really? Are we the kind of America that just gives lip service to stuff, or are we the kind of America that really gets stuff done?
Yeah.
And that's basically what it boils down to. The issue is the quality of education that we aspire to provide our children in this country. PBS has been a bulwark for over 50 years in terms of providing really the finest, highest quality content you can find on this planet.
For kids and adults alike,
Kids and adults alike. And I just think it's mean-spirited to target PBS. It's an easy target, but when we start turning our children and their educational futures into a political football, that's when Kunta gets upset.
Let me bring in our community. We have Harsha, Nahata, a writer for the Daily Michigan in Ann Arbor, and we have Amy Lutz, who is vice chair of Missouri College Republicans in St. Louis, Missouri. Ladies, thanks so much for joining us. Harsha, I have the piece that you wrote. What motivated you to do it, and what the post says?
Definitely. So I guess hearing the PBS comments at the debate really struck a chord with me. It was something that I heard, and it was just immediately I was like, I want to write about this. And I guess my big sticking thing is not only was PBS something that I grew up with, that many people that I knew grew up with, but it was also in terms of I wanted to make it more coming from a news perspective and really emphasize in my piece, what my piece focuses on is that PBS is one of the only, if not the only, news networks that can provide people with educational programming that's pretty much commercial free or with very limited commercial interruptions.
By pushing to eliminate the subsidy, you say Romney is pushing to eliminate that very independence. In fact, Romney himself has claimed that PBS could use a few more commercials, and that is something that we talk about with journalistic integrity, right? It's such a challenge when you feel this sort of hovering sense of, 8 different advertisers who are potentially marionetting a little bit on what gets delivered to the masses.
Where children's programming is concerned, PBS is unique in the marketplace, and that it is an environment absent the blatant commercialization that goes on over the airwaves, and is such a valuable incubator for kids to be able to learn without being pitched to, without being sold to, without the messaging constantly. You need this. You know. You have to buy this.
Your life is missing. There's something wrong.
There's
because
something
you
wrong
don't have
because you
this.
don't have thus and such. And it is unfathomable to me that anyone can find something wrong with that. But again, that's what this election is about.
Right.
What kind of an America are we trying to create?
Right.